Adverb. Derivational suffixes. Many adverbs are derived from adjectives by adding the suffix ly, and some are formed by adding the addition of other suffixes. See what, for example, home, wards, length, wise, or prefixes, for example, a shore. Others have no identifying morphology, and for example, offend, just. So, adverbs are a major part of speech that we use to modify or to describe a verb, adjective, or even other adverb. Example in words: quickly, silently, well, badly, very, really. And if you studied grammar, you probably know that words like calmly, everywhere, and soon are examples of adverbs. But did you know that there are different types of adverbs? It's true, and we are going to learn how versatile adverbs can be by learning more about these 6 common types of adverbs that we use of all the time. In addition, adverbs provide more information in a sentence by modifying other words. See what, for example, the adverb quickly in the sentence. Jefferson ran quickly. So, it tells us that Jefferson ran with high speed. And as another example, the adverb really in the sentence. The movie was really boring. So, it tells us again that the movie wasn't just boring, but that it was a colossal snooze fest. So, that was the job of an adverb. Take note to get further understand. So here are the different types of adverbs. Like other part of speech, such as nouns and verbs, there are several different types of adverbs. For the most part, adverbs are usually separated by what kind of questions they answer or what kind of information they provided to us. Right now, we're going to look at 6 common types of adverbs. Conjunctive adverbs, adverbs of frequency, adverbs of time, adverbs of manner, adverbs of degree, and adverbs of place. Conjunctive adverbs. Unlike the other types of adverbs, we will look at conjunctive adverbs, in which play an important grammatical role in sentences. Basically, a conjunctive adverb is an adverb that acts like a conjunction. A conjunction adverb is used to connect 2 clauses or 2 sentences together. For example, Hipe went to the store to buy new shoes. However, take note, the store was already closed when she got there. So in the second sentence, the conjunctive adverb, however, tells us that this sentence is related to one another immediately before it. The adverb, however, acts like a conjunction by linking these 2 sentences together, right? So we can also use conjunctive adverbs with a semicolon rather than a period. For example, Angeline wasn't too confident about her answers. Nevertheless, she passed the exam easily. Another one of conjunctive adverbs had been used in sentences. Steven was playing in the sandbox. Meanwhile, his brother Aljo was sleeping in a hammock. Another one, candy isn't a healthy breakfast. Instead, you could eat fruit. He could eat fruit. Okay? Lisa is the most popular member of the band Blackpink. Therefore, her name is always first in the poster. Take note that the conjunctive adverbs, meanwhile, instead, and therefore acts like a conjunction, right? By linking those 2 sentences together. Understood? Okay, let's move on. Adverbs of frequency. A number of adverbs are used to describe the frequency of an event. By doing so, these adverbs describe how often something happens. Adverbs of frequency are used to express time or how often something occurs. Adverbs of frequency can be split to main groups. The first, adverbs of indefinite frequency, are terms which means that have an unclear meaning as to how long or how often something occurs. Usually, always, normally. So these adverbs will usually be placed after the main verb or between the auxiliary verb and infinitive. So of course, we have an example in word. Constantly, frequently, occasionally, sometimes, usually, never, always, rarely, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and etc. So, example used in sentences: Christian usually put butter and syrup on his pancakes. Sheba never drives on icy roads. Another, sometimes Yezer gets coffee for his co-workers. Rene can normally make the shot. And I will always love. So adverbs of indefinite frequency will usually be placed at the end of the sentence also. We get paid hourly. The situation seems to change monthly. The newspaper is bought daily. Adverbs of time. Some adverbs tells us when something happens. Adverbs of time include words that refer to specific times in more general time periods. Adverbs of time, while seemingly similar to the adverbs of frequency, it tells us when something happens. Adverbs of time are usually placed at the end of a sentence. So example, today, yesterday, tomorrow, tonight, soon, later, and etc. So adverbs of time example in the following sentence. So I made it bold for easy identification. Briggs forgot his lunch yesterday and again today. So it seems that the adverbs of time, which is the yesterday and today, are usually placed at the end of a sentence and also at the center. Next, we are going to see a movie tomorrow. My daughter hasn't learned how to tie her shoes yet. Presently, John Lloyd got a job as a construction worker. And last example, we first met Marcus last year. So while it's almost always correct to have the adverb of time at the end of the sentence, we can place it at the start of the sentence to put a different emphasis on the time if it is important to the context. So, for example, last year was the best year of my life. Tomorrow our fate will be sealed. And yesterday my troubles seemed so far away. So that was adverb of time that tells us when some things happened. Last year, tomorrow, or either yesterday. And now we have adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner tells us how something happens. A huge number of adverbs fall under this type and many of the ly adverbs formed from adjectives fit into this group. So, an adverb of manner will explain how an action is carried out. So, very often, adverbs of manner are adjectives with ly added to the end, but this is certainly not always the case. In fact, some adverbs of manner will have the same spelling as the adjective form. Some examples of adverbs of manner include angrily, cautiously, hungrily, nicely, slowly, deftly, precisely, unknowingly, loudly, and etc. So adverbs of manner used in a sentence. Example, the clown skillfully made animals out of balloons. Another, Yuki bravely rescued a kitten from a tree. Francine wisely took an extra umbrella with her. Another, Aljo answered the question correctly. So notice how the adverbs are formed by adding ly to the adjectives brave, correct, skillful, and wise. Although there is a slight spelling change when forming an adverb with the adjective easy. So notice how the adverbs are formed, to the ly. Another example, the boys had worked hard. Another, Cleone dances well. So, adverb of manner will explain how an action is carried out. So that was the am. That tells us and how something happens. How. Next, we have adverbs of degree. So generally, adverbs of degree describe the intensity of an action or quality. So these adverbs are often used as intensifiers to describe adjectives and other adverbs. For example, in word, very, really, extremely, incredibly, too, quiet, barely, deeply, fairly, greatly, hardly, highly, and etc. So, adverbs of verbs. Example used in a sentences. It is really hot in the roof. Yes, that book is much too expensive. Gigi Jan barely knew how to cook at all. So as you can see, the adverbs of degree in a sentence describe the intensity of the action or equality. Gets? Okay, let's proceed to the last one, types of adverbs. This was adverbs of place. And yes, it tells us where something happens. So kung kanina sa adverbs of degree, describe the intensity of an action or quality. Now, in adverb of place, tells us where something happens, and sometimes it is called spatial adverbs that will help explain where an action happens. Adverbs of place will be associated with the action of the verb in a sentence, providing context for direction, distance, and position. Southeast, example, everywhere, up, left, close, close by, back, inside, around. So these terms don't usually end in ly. So, example of adverb of place in the sentences. Here, there, everywhere, nowhere, somewhere, and etc. So, we have an example of in directions. The lost travelers went north until they found a small town. Another, I can't find my keys anywhere. So, notice that here and there are often used at the beginning of sentences to express emphasis or in exclamation. Here comes the sun. There is love in the air. Yeah. Here you are. So another example of directions. Otherwise, first I look here and then I look there, but I can't find them anywhere. Many times, adverbs of place can be used as prepositions as well. The difference is when the phrase is used as an adverb, it is modifying a verb. When it is used as a preposition, it is always followed by a noun. For example, New York is located north of Philadelphia. So New York is on the map. Another, they traveled down a river. So they traveled in the first compartment. And examples in distance, Hilario is moving far away. Emar is sitting close to me. Examples in position, the treasure lies underneath the box. Another, the cat is sleeping on the bed. So, in addition, some adverbs of position will refer to a direction of movement. These often end in ward or wards. See what for examples. Sorvien traveled onward to Los Angeles. Quinley looked upwards to the heavens. Glames, move forward to the front of the queue, please. Glames, move forward to the front of the queue, please. Some groups of words serve the same functions as adverbs, so these are known as adverb clauses. Be sure to read the adverb clause section to learn new ways to make your sentences even more interesting. Inflectional suffixes. Most adverbs do not have inflectional affixes, but a few can have comparative and superlative suffixes. For example, Quinley ran fast, Stephen ran faster, Roselle ran fastest. So gradable adverbs are commonly preceded by an adverb of degree. For example, less enthusiastically and extremely slowly.